We are so excited to be able to have you with us this morning, whether you're getting ready for work or listening to us in the car. I'm Morgan Bustos. I'm an EFT practitioner, a life coach, as public speaker, and I also really enjoy helping women learn how to navigate through the backside of domestic violence. So we really do a lot of work with them. So we're really happy to have you here today. And Chatone, how are you doing?
I'm doing marvelous. Thank you for starting. It allowed me to allow my lip gloss to settle because when I wear such a bright lip, sometimes, and then y'all can see it from the moon. I know you can see it. Sometimes when I wear it this bright, I gotta let it settle down. So if you're still putting your makeup on, you're in the right place. Today, we are going to be talking about something that almost every single woman that I know needs to be doing right now. Let's go ahead and jump in so that you can release what you need to release to. My name is Chanel Morrison. I am the host of this podcast. This is Getting to Active. Thank you for being here. I am an EFT practitioner. I'm a life coach. I'm all about confidence. And we serve midlife women because we believe that there's no shelf life on your healing and it's not too late and it's not too long and you can still move on. And we believe in all those things. So you're going to hear all of it right here in this house. What you're not going to hear is negativity. You're not going to hear that you're not enough. You're not going to hear that you're all alone. You're going to hear the opposite of that. And we're going to help regulate your nervous system while we're at it. So welcome to spring. I know that it may not be warm where you live right now, but I tell you what, it's on the way. Last
Mm.
couple weeks, I was up in New Jersey, Morgan. I was in New York, and I went from 80 degrees to sub 19. I've been going through all the weather patterns in the last couple of weeks, and it's funny to me because spring's going to show up whether we're ready or not. The pollen's going to show up. I know you probably got green on your car right now.
Oh my goodness. The other day I walked out to my car and I'm like, who's painting? There's overspray on my car because it was like yellow lime green. And then I looked around and I was like, oh, I forgot. I live in North Carolina. That's just pollen.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, well, it is finally here. And in Maryland, we've got the remnants of the cherry blossoms, really beautiful. We've been spending some time in DC. And it made me remember that this time of year is really something where we need to give ourselves some self kindness, some
Mm.
permission, some awareness about release. And one of the things that Morgan and I talk about all the time is releasing. We do use emotional freedom technique. If you've never tried it before, you'll have an opportunity today. We're doing some tapping, but so many of us end up carrying the beginning of the year and we just keep carrying it in. We want we set some resolutions up maybe, or maybe you said there were some things you were going to do, and maybe they happened, they didn't happen. I don't know. And many of us carry that through. But it's not just a new month, it's a new quarter. We are in a separate part of the year. And we don't necessarily have to restart. We don't have to redo. We don't have to do any of that. But some of the reason why we feel we have to is because we feel like, that angst
Mm.
of something didn't happen. I don't know if feeling that we have to carry everything from the beginning of the year forward is actually helping us.
Yeah, I definitely can see that for sure because a lot of times we bring forward from last month into this next part of the year, right? But we're still like carrying all the weight of everything that happened. And in all honesty, like all the things that we promised ourselves that we were supposed to accomplish at the beginning of the year. And so because we haven't done that, we don't know what to do next.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So my thought process is that we're going to release Q1 today. We're going to at
Mm.
least talk about doing that. And I think that comes down to not necessarily feeling like I have to fix something. It doesn't mean like necessarily breaking everything down. Okay, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, you didn't do, you know what I mean? Because we are now in spring, and it's kind of cliche, rebirth and all of that. And even the magazine for spring is a reset. Um, but I do think that releasing old stuff, no matter what it may have been Q1, it may have happened in January, or you may be still carrying something that happened at the end of 2025. We're all about trying to release that today.
Yeah, but you know what? Honestly, I don't know if everybody's ready to do that yet because for some people, like quarter one just didn't go as planned. You have all these things in mind as what you wanted to accomplish. And when it doesn't happen, it actually can hurt. I know it hurts me for sure. And so when things don't move forward, it can sometimes feel as if you didn't show up the way you thought you would. So then you're like, thinking about yourself and how it just didn't work out and then second guessing yourself. But being told to release it, it can feel like it's happening too fast, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think it is happening fast because we're in April. So I'm gonna push. I'm gonna push that we need to release. But you're right. And I think that obviously we all of us have goals, and releasing something that didn't happen yet doesn't pretend that it doesn't matter. And I think that that's worth saying. And again, here and getting to after, we don't ever want to push you to do something. Emotional freedom technique is not about, it is about acknowledging what the feelings are. I want to
Mhm.
invite you, should I say it that way, Morgan? I want to invite people to release it because as opposed to thinking, "Oh, then I was a failure," you could think instead of I'm losing something, it could be about, "Oh, I'm gonna invite something else in." I don't have to ca We can only carry but so many things in our 2 hands, and sometimes it's
Mhm.
like, "Oh, but if I'm still carrying this, how do I bring something new in?"
Mhm. And especially because I know, like, if I'm holding something for too long, like, it gets heavy. Like, it gets extra, extra heavy for me.
Yeah, and
So,
that's
like
physically and also psychologically as well.
yeah, that's true. Because we have all this
So
emotional weight that goes on, and then it comes and it manifests in our body because it's heavy everywhere.
yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Morgan, there's a lot of things I didn't do that I was supposed to do. That is a long list that I had. I always have a long list. There were
Mhm.
things I wanted to do, there was things I started, and I don't know, 2026 came in and derailed all the stuff. And the majority of things that I got involved with, I'm like, that's not on any checklist that I have. But I think it's more of, I mean, we're talking about not carrying stuff forward and all that, but the thing is, there's another question, to ask ourselves. And that's what I want to concentrate on today a little bit. Um, and that is not just what didn't happen, but what did happen, because that's the thing I think we miss sometimes.
Well, and it can definitely feel harder because I think as society, we're so used to measuring our accomplishments or measuring things on what we don't accomplish,
Yeah.
you know? And I know that we don't naturally look at what we have accomplished or what we made it through. And I know that for you specifically, that's really hard for you too, to, acknowledge what you didn't get done.
Well, Morgan, you're right. I don't know if you had to tell everybody, but you're right.
Your
Um,
business there.
all my business. No, but I mean, it's something I work on. I mean, I think anyone who's followed me for any amount of time know that it's something that um, it's hard. I'm always trying to get things done, but something I've been doing for the last couple of quarters, more than I was doing before. It's something I've always taught, but it's something I started doing more for myself and my personal life, and that is wartime. And for those of
Mhm.
you who don't know what wartime is, war is write and release. And if you have a planner, I didn't even bring my planner with me today, but if you have a planner, I would always say, one day I'm going to create my own planner, Morgan. But I really believe that planners should help you to release. They should help you to push, and they should also help you to release. And my planner does that. It's the Divine Planner. It's amazing. It helps me to do that. But regardless, I would be doing it inside of my getting to after journal no matter what. Like I would do it regardless. And so I think
Mhm.
before we say, okay, I'm just gonna move forward, and I think we have to release Q1. We have to name it. I mean, and not just the goals, not just the plans, but real things. So for me, I think it would be cool, and I thought I'd invite you and also anyone who's watching and listening to us to name 4 or 5 things we're proud of, even if they're small. And by doing that little action, we actually activate that part of our brain that says, "Ooh, look at me," it's a little dopamine hit, right? So are you game to just come up with 4 or 5 things you're proud of that you did accomplish? So as opposed to the things you have to carry forward that you didn't do, let's name some of the things we did do.
Oh, heck yeah. I'm down for that, but give me just a second to think. So you go first.
Such a cheater. Um, You're such a cheater. So I overcame, and it was like the tail end of this year, but I overcame I don't say a phobia, but like a block that I should never be in Asia. I just had this block that I didn't belong there, that I wasn't going to thrive there. And at the
Mhm.
beginning of this year, it was the tail end of my trip in both Singapore and Japan. And it just opened up a world for me. It changed a lot of things about me. And then probably some of the things that I ended up not doing that were on my list for 2026 happened because I
Mhm.
was over there and I relearned about resetting and slowing down and taking care of what's most important. So that's one thing. Um, Another thing would have to be is making myself available to my daughter in a different way. I'm a
Mhm.
mom. I'm a helicopter mom. I have my propeller on at all times, and I'm proud of it. I'm happy, okay, with my propeller. But she's married now, and so I've had to, kind of reestablish what does that look like, um, recalibrate that relationship, and it's been working really well. Like it's a win for me that she's out of the
Mhm.
house, she's with her husband, but we're still really close, and then I make myself available to her, but I also keep really good boundaries. I didn't know that's who I'd be as a mom, and I also have a really nice relationship with my son-in-law. I always wanted that because I have an amazing relationship with my mother-in-law, but I think I worked hard at that, more hard at that in the beginning of this year than the 9 months I had. And they're about to celebrate their first anniversary, so, it's cool. Another thing, oh my goodness, how many do I need? I said 4. Okay, so okay, so and I hate to even say this out loud because it's kind of a ongoing accomplishment, it's ongoing, but and I haven't told you this yet, Morgan. I haven't told you. So, okay, here's a big announcement, all right? So, look at you, getting all close to the camera. So I've started working on 2 new projects, and one of them is putting together all of scary to say out loud, right? Because it means I'm doing it. I started this reset last November, that I
Mhm.
created myself, really big on my mindset, my nervous system, my body, the way that I eat, the way that I rest, the way that I, offset, and I've started the book. So, yeah. So I'm on chapter 4 of the book where I'm actually compiling what all of that was and um, how did I get there and where am I at in the process. And
Mhm.
my whole goal was that this reset would be about 6 weeks. It ended up being just a little bit under 3 months. And so now that I'm on the other side of these 90 days, I want to share the findings. I want to share it. And so, in all my spare free time, I've been working on I've been working on this reset book, and I also have another project I won't talk about just yet, but it's a project that one is like a really love project to me because it really did change my life, that doing that work. But this other project I have is going to be something that's going to really help our audience as well. So stay tuned. A lot of cool things are coming up, and for me it's a labor of love, but it's also one of these things where it's so much bravery because it's so much of me on the line. It's so private and it's so like naked and raw and but I'm proud of it. Did it mean that a lot of stuff didn't happen? Yeah. Yeah, I mean a lot of stuff didn't happen. But at the same time some things did happen. And so I look at my list sometimes when I do my release through my in my planner and I'm looking at all the questions and all the things I'm supposed to do. I said, wait, I didn't do any of those, right? The other thing and the last thing I want to just mention is that I am not I'm a good coach. I will help you get through things. But self-coaching is a different animal.
Mhm.
I, as part of this reset, spent a dramatic amount of time at the beginning of this year really clearing energy and deciding who I wanted to be moving forward. I am not good at tracking in a calendar. I'm not. I'm not.
Mhm.
I have too many things going on. I'm not. But in 2026, I've done better in this first quarter than I've ever done before. And that seems very small, very personal, but that's why we're celebrating small things. That was huge for me. And not only that, having a mission statement, having a vision statement, and then here's the hint, having questions that make sure that I'm sticking to the work, having
Mhm.
questions to make sure I'm sticking to the work that I actually answer about every 2 weeks. I almost said fortnight. I've been watching way too much British TV. Every fortnight, I mean, what? Who am I? Okay, call me Lady Mary. So anyway, every fortnight, I've been checking on how on those questions, and it brings me a lot of joy to see that I am making some project. It's again, it's not the whole list, but there's some projects being made. So those are mine. There's some of them are really small and they may not mean anything to anyone else, but I know that I'm able to show up as a better person because of them.
Mm. But those are very, very big things because you accomplished it and it's something that you're working towards and you're working on. So it's not you can't compare that. Those are your wins, and so we
I
celebrate your wins. Those are
love
great.
it. All right, don't try to get out of it because now it's your turn.
Did you see how I kinda tried to
All
redirect?
right,
I didn't have enough time.
but I'm going to
Uh,
give you some terms. I'm going to give you some
terms and
terms because I
conditions?
know you. Terms and conditions, T's and C's, because I know you really well. So many midlife women, especially, and I think it happens a lot of times to longtime moms. You've been a mom for almost a quarter of a century, right? So,
Mhm.
wow, deep.
Isn't that great?
No, that's deep. Okay. So that means that a lot of times our even for me, right? I talked about Caitlin, I talked about my son-in-law, but in a way that of something that I did, not necessarily what they did. And what we tend to do is we calibrate our successes around the success of our children.
Oh,
So
that
my
is so
T's and
true.
C's for you is
Mhm,
that it has to be about you. Now, granted, you're a package, they come along with you.
mhm.
But because I happen to know you and I know that our audience is doing the same thing. I know you guys are doing it out there. Um, we want this to be about you. You're going
Mm.
to release something. You're going to, invite something in for the spring, and we're going to celebrate something that happened to you, something that you affected, not
Mhm.
necessarily what someone else in your world did. So now, with those terms on this platform, go.
It's funny that you started off with that because that is exactly where my mind went, was the things that my kids accomplished since we've been here, right? So moving, um, from another like, just having to move and relocate again,
Yeah.
we've had to do that so much over the last 7 years, and so having to reestablish in another area, and and my brain went to everything that they've accomplished since they've been here and not what I've accomplished. Like,
Mm.
having to relearn a new area, that's hard.
I love your children, but this is not about them. Sorry. Sorry,
No.
kid.
But that's hard, having to make the decision to once again to pick up and move, and not just in the same town, but to a whole 'nother town,
Yeah.
where I don't know anybody and trying to find work, and that's actually another part of it, is being able to find 2 new jobs since I've been here. So that's a huge accomplishment.
Huge.
Yeah, so there's that, and then, oh, you know what? I think it would be acknowledging and releasing toxic relationships,
Okay.
because
Talk to
when
me
you
then.
Well, so check this out. Having to move from where we just left, realizing that the people that I was surrounded by may not have necessarily been healthy for us,
Yeah.
like mentally, emotionally, physically, psychologically, like the whole shebang, spiritually. So having to make a decision and really stop and think, is this going to be good in the long run? Like for me to stay here and on all of those different like
Right.
areas. So
Right.
then having to come here, that's hard because I know previously I would have kept myself in a situation that I knew that wasn't healthy for me and just, like, kept
Because it
pushing.
felt safe. Because it
Yeah,
felt yeah.
yeah, definitely, definitely. Oh, I got one. Okay, so
So silly.
no, dude, this is
These
huge.
are all yours. They're all yours. You can be excited, but you're funny. Go ahead.
So, I just went by within the last couple of weeks and spoke to another new shelter, like a local one here in Durham, because I've already hit up all the ones in Winston. And so I went and pitched to the one here locally, and it was successful. And so we have, a couple things that are on the calendar, and working towards that to be able to go and help introduce EFT into that area to help the women that are actually working, like working in the shelters, to help these other women to be able to stabilize their
Yeah.
nervous systems. So that is really important to me too.
That's huge.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. So you see what happens when, and you see the face now, the smile, the face, the energy, right? So honestly, I believe that if you ever work with me over a quarter, all right, typically clients will work with me say 6 months. So a quarter is going to pass. We're going to start with goals. We're going to go into review. We're going to decide what needs to come forward and what needs to be released. And I
Mhm.
really believe that this is such an important thing to do when you start a new season of your life, a new quarter, half a year, some things like that. And so, what I want to invite you to do is to do something creative. I have my planner here, and one of the things you can do, actually, let's do a little bit of it. So, I think it's fun. Grab some colored markers or something, and yourself, if we kind of like workshop this together, think about what those 4 or 5 things are for you. Now, Grant, and then she's got the big pen. I mean, we're not, this doesn't have to be a dissertation. We're not talking about a paragraph. We're talking about a couple things. So, Morgan, you may want to write down, a
Mhm.
successful move, new city, new business contacts, whatever that is. But what I love about doing this is kind of doing it almost like a mind map. So,
Mhm.
instead of just linearly writing down a list and checking things off, like make it pretty. Then it sits in your mind. It's a way, it's
Yeah.
kind of a little kind of art therapy feel, and it makes your
Mhm.
journal. So I actually had strategically for this pull out a couple of pens, a couple of color pens. And what I like to do is do it in a bubble. And I know this sounds like what, or a cloud. So this could be like your success clouds. So you could do something on your paper like where you kind of make some clouds like
Mhm.
that, right? And make them all over your page. I'm going to add a couple different colors. And then you're going to go ahead and write in what those successes were. And then you're just going to have that one page. And what's nice is you can decide to do this in your regular planner. So doing it in hard copy. You can also do this if you like to use electronic, which I think is still effective. I don't think it's as effective necessarily, but it is still effective. You can do it in your electronic planner, and you could just do it with your, like, say, your Apple Pencil or something like that. I like seeing all the colors. And so just go ahead and do that and write them down, because what's going to happen is you're going to, and while I'm talking to you, I'm actually making my bubbles. They're little, mine aren't bubbles, they're like little clouds. What's going to happen is you're going to be able to visually look at that, and it's gonna just help you to remember, "Oh, I had some success some success. I had some things I really wanted to do, and I was able to get it done." And it'll help you to anchor it and remember it. So this is kind of what mine looks like. I mean, it's really no big deal. Got 4 clouds there. You see? Little happy little clouds there. Bob Ross would say that, "Let's make a little happy little cloud." Okay, I'm dating myself. Um, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and write them in. And just a little exercise. It takes a couple of minutes. It just takes a couple of minutes, but it's gonna allow you to think about, what did I do that was great? What did I do that I'm proud of? So take a minute. If you happen to be riding in your car, or maybe you're still putting your makeup on as you're watching this, just come back, replay this part, and come and do it later. I'm gonna write mine in. Oops, I almost forgot when I had to write a whole nother bubble. I know I'm thinking, is this a podcast or a workshop? It's both. You get the whole gamut here when you're coming into our space. And for me, I am going to go ahead and rename this. So we have something called wartime, which is write and release. This one is not necessarily, this part is not about release. This part is about remembering. And so you can go ahead and label that at the top of your page. I'm going to show you mine. It's really sloppy. Just telling you, it doesn't have to be perfect. And this is mine. And I got these crazy lights here, but that's mine. So it says basically my reset book that I'm working on, my relationship with my kiddos, my daughter, and specifically my bonus son, tracking and reviewing better than I've ever done before. This new private that I'm not really sharing yet, but this new element of my business that I'm working on, and all the changes that happened because I decided to be brave enough to go to Asia, and how that's even carrying forward. I've been home for 2.5 months, and how it has really, or I guess almost 3 months, how that's changed who I am. So go ahead, excuse me. So go ahead and do yours. And if you feel really brave, you can put them in the comments below. Let us know what things are you really proud of, um, so you don't forget about them.
You know what I love about all these little bubbles too is that because they're so small, it doesn't give you a lot of room to expand on. So it gets straight to the point and allows you to acknowledge quickly and then move to the next thing too. And
Yeah.
it's and all the colors are great too to call back to me.
I love mine. Mine's so pretty. And I will do this literally. There's mine. I will literally do this, and my lighting is so crazy today. I'm in my husband's office. I will do all of these inside of my planner as well. This is actually just my getting to after journal. But believe it or not, um, you not only want to tap on things that you need to release, but you do want to tap on things that you remember as well. Because a
Hmm.
lot of times those really positive things or things that you're proud of, we're so quick to move past them. When you tap on those, you help those to get re-anchored back into your system as well. So
Mm.
sometimes we tap on, things that are difficult or negative. You'll hear us saying things like, even though, I don't like myself, or even though, this, I mean, you're going to hear some of that today. You also want to tap on things like, you know, I'm so proud of myself. I
Yeah.
love the fact that I started my book. This move was really difficult, but I was able to get it done and my family's thriving. This really helps. Oh, and see already, like that gave me chills just saying that. It's not even my life. What happens is your body receives that as well. And so you got to stick around here because we do both things. And there's so much you can learn about your nervous system here, but also that you can practice and move forward on and feel really amazing. All right, Morgan. So thank you for doing the exercise with me. And for those of you who decided to do it with us, thank you. Yes, we did give you a little bit of workshop today. Many times there's some other things that we still want, and that's okay too. We're sitting in the first full week of April, and maybe you're really grieving what didn't happen. Maybe you're saying, but I really needed those things. And that's despite the fact that we just celebrated for the two of us 4 or
Mm.
9, 10 different amazing things. There may still be some things that you brought along with you that you're missing, and that you still want to come, and you need to give yourself permission to do them.
Mm. I definitely agree with that because, like, in our 40s, I think we kinda get a little stubborn. So if we don't accomplish something when we want that when that deadline happens, it's almost like, "I don't even wanna do it anymore," like, that kinda thing. I know I can definitely relate to that.
Yeah. Well, you know me, if you were coaching with me, right, which they didn't see the little coaching session that we had offline today. We don't share everything here. I'm gonna ask you, how true is that? How true is
Mm,
it that you still want this thing, or how true is it that you think you can't have it? Or, you got to ask yourself those questions. How true is it? When you ask yourself those questions, you will literally come up with answers because your body's going to want to answer that. So, because maybe it's easier to shrink desire
mm,
than to deal with delay. I didn't
mm,
want that anyway, because now you don't have to acknowledge that you didn't follow through.
mm. Ow. Why'd you have to do that? I literally was just thinking that. I was like, "Man, by shrinking our desires and, like, shrinking back, it makes it so that we don't feel like we don't want it anymore."
But it's
You
a
know?
lie.
That's true because that desire is in us, so we
Yeah.
know we want it, but then that shame comes in.
Yeah. But I think one of the things that I love about tapping is that both can coexist. And when
Mm,
we are not taught to allow our desires and our accomplishments to reside in the same house. We're
mm,
not taught, especially as girls, I mean, I think our boys are sometimes, or, men are kind of taught that you can be playing the game really hard and also lose and you still get celebrated. What?
mm,
What is that? Right? We're
mhm,
not taught how to do that. You either win or you lose. You fail or you succeed. And it's not true. You wanted it and you got it and you succeeded, or you wanted it and you didn't get it and you failed. And that's not true. So when we automatically shrink our desire or say, I didn't want that anyway, it's okay to still want something that didn't happen yet. There's this amazing thing. Let me see if I have one here. Look, I don't even deal with them. Oh, I do. Wait. There's this amazing thing that we have. Let me just show you what it is, because I know you know what it is, Morgan.
no, what you got? Oh, an eraser. Mm,
The deadline's there.
erase it. Mm,
Move the deadline. Move the deadline. We are not about shame in this house. That's the one thing that we do want to shrink. We want to shrink the shame. So instead of turning this into a whole big plan, we're just going to come back to something simple. And I love it. Something that you said last week. You were like, just do the very next step. You were talking about maybe when moving forward, you need to do an exercise plan or you need to, I forget all the things you said, but they were so good. And I feel that's true. It's just that one little step that you can take forward. You don't have to erase it completely. You can just move the deadline forward.
in thinking about spring and moving forward, not judging that the stairs that we didn't get to climb yet, but celebrating what we did accomplish and remembering that we are one step further ahead than we were, just a couple weeks ago or
And the
even
thing is, one step is good. It's so funny how the older that we get, which is so sad, imagine how we celebrate our children's steps.
oh, yeah.
You taking pictures, it's all over Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. They only just took one step.
Yeah.
Somehow, as we get older, those one steps don't mean anything. And I will out you a little bit because a few minutes ago, we were talking about your accomplishments. You didn't see that this move is huge, but this move wasn't just moving to a new city. This
Mm,
was really a life changing move for you
yeah.
in the midst of some really amazing relationships that you had to leave behind.
Mm,
And you did anyway, even though that adds a commute to go back and forth have those relationships flourish. You're like, it was worth it for my family, and it was worth it for my mental health. So many
exactly.
times we do things that might take someone else a whole year, and maybe we did it in a matter of a few weeks or a few months, and then we don't even realize it because we're in the midst of doing it. That's why these kind of practices, write and release, write and remember, acknowledging, celebration are so critical because we will miss it all. And we can't do
We're
that.
we're
So,
almost taught that you don't get to praise yourself. You don't get to acknowledge what you have accomplished because there's so much on our plate constantly. Like, okay, I accomplished this. Boom, next, 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 next. Like we don't get to be still long enough to say, "Man, I did a really good job with that," or "I got all that done.
yeah.
I got all of
So,
this."
so when you say we don't get a chance, I'm going to say they don't get a chance because we get a chance. We just did it.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
it is a matter of reworking what's always been done. And saying that everyone always says, if you always do what you've always done, then you'll always get what you've always got. If
Mhm.
you want something that you've never had, you have to do something that you've never done. And so if you want it to feel different, you're going to have to do differently. And then once you do differently, you get to be different. Look, she got her taking notes again. So, but these are all things that I've learned from my coaches. These are all things that I've learned from my coaches. And so we're
Mhm.
going to actually jump into some tapping right now to help us to release Q1 so that we can step forward into Q2. Are you ready, Morgan?
Oh, sounds great. Let's do it.
Today we're going to be releasing Q1 so that we can invite in and welcome Q2. And I think this is a very important one because, again, as we've been talking about through this entire session today, this is something that we do. We don't celebrate what we've accomplished. We hold on to the negative that we didn't accomplish, and it does not
Mhm.
allow us to move forward. So we're going to work on all that. Now, if this is your first time tapping with us and you're going to be brave and you're going to tap right along with this, then what I'm going to ask you to do is repeat after me. You can do so out loud in a whisper. You can do it in your mind, or you can just tap along with us. You're going to be watching Morgan and I both tap on certain parts of our body. It's going to be the upper body. And there are 9 tapping points, and we're going to go through them. We're not going to discuss what each one of them do. You'll have to come back for another episode to get all of those details. But the whole entire goal is to just lightly tap. You can do it with these 2 fingers, 3. Sometimes I do it 2, sometimes I do it 3. Morgan and I may tap on a little bit different parts of our body based on our body composition. When she goes to the point that's under the arm, she's going to probably do it here, and I'm probably going to do it here. I allow for abundance in this area. And so if you have that abundance, then go ahead and tap over here. It's fine. So we're going to go ahead and get started. even though I didn't keep all the words to myself.
even though I didn't keep all of the word to myself.
And something in me feels a little deflated because of that.
And something in me feels a little deflated because of that.
I'm willing to meet myself with honesty and compassion.
I'm willing to meet myself with honesty and compassion.
Even though I'm still carrying the weight of what didn't happen.
Even though I'm carrying the weight of what didn't happen.
And I can feel it sitting in my body.
And I can feel it sitting in my body.
I'm open to acknowledging without making myself wrong.
I'm open to acknowledging without making myself wrong.
Even though part of me feels disappointed in how I showed up,
Even though part of me feels disappointed in how I showed up.
and I've been holding that quietly,
And I've been holding that quietly.
I'm willing to soften and allow a new way forward.
I'm willing to soften and allow a new way forward.
I still have pride in myself.
I still have pride in myself.
Go ahead and take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold it at the top for about a count of 4, and then blow out slowly to a count of 4. And as we start to tap, we're going to go through the tapping points. Just really think about where you're feeling this in your body. It may not be your exact issue, but if you need to, you can substitute in the things that fit for you. And just remember that when you have an opportunity to do tapping like this with two EFT practitioners, it's special. So we wrote this just for you. So let's go ahead and go through the tapping points. Eyebrow point. There's an emptiness in my belly.
There's an emptiness in my belly.
Side of eye. I didn't keep my word to myself.
I didn't keep my word to myself.
Under eye. There's a heaviness in my chest.
There's a heaviness in my chest.
Under nose. Around the money I didn't save.
Around the money I didn't save.
I spent it instead.
I spent it instead.
Chin. There's a sinking feeling in me.
There's a sinking feeling in me.
Collarbone. From the debt I created.
From the debt I created.
I promised myself I wouldn't do that.
I promised myself I wouldn't do that.
Underarm. My body feels all this disappointment.
My body feels all of this disappointment.
Top of head. All of this disappointment.
All of this disappointment.
I've been carrying the weight of all this disappointment.
I've been carrying the weight of all this disappointment.
Eyebrow. There's some shame inside of me.
And there's some shame inside of me.
Side of eye. It's sitting heavy on my chest.
It's sitting heavy on my chest.
Under eye. This feeling of being behind.
This feeling of being behind.
Under nose. I've been hard on myself.
I've been hard on myself.
Chin. There's this pressure that I've been carrying.
There's this pressure I've been carrying.
Collarbone. The way I've been talking to myself.
The way I've been talking to myself.
I wasn't going to talk to myself that way anymore.
I wasn't going to talk to myself that way anymore.
Yeah. Underarm. I'm disappointed and I don't say it out loud.
I am disappointed and I don't say it out loud.
Top of head. I've been holding all of this.
I've been holding all of this.
Okay, stop tapping for just a second. Let's just clear some of that. Take a deep breath in and let it go. You want to move your shoulders up, back, around, and down. You should feel some energy releasing. Just that acknowledgement. Now we're going to actually go into a release round. We're going to start at our eyebrow point. Eyebrow. I give myself permission to see exactly what happened.
I give myself permission to see exactly what happened.
Side of eye. I'm still here.
I'm still here.
Under eye. I allow myself to feel better about what I didn't do.
I allow myself to feel better about what I didn't do.
Under nose. I give myself permission to let it go.
I give myself permission to let it go.
I give myself permission to move forward.
I give myself permission to move forward.
Chin. I'm willing to be kinder to myself.
I'm willing to be kinder to myself.
Kinder about what I accomplish.
Kinder about what I accomplish.
Kinder about what I don't accomplish.
And kinder about what I don't accomplish.
The next 3 months.
The next 3 months.
Collarbone. Maybe I can carry less from here.
Maybe I can carry less from here.
Maybe I can carry more from here.
Maybe I can carry more from here.
Maybe I can just carry myself.
And maybe I can just carry myself.
Underarm. I am so grateful that I'm allowed to start right here.
I'm so grateful that I'm allowed to start right here.
Top of head. I know this is enough.
I know this is enough.
And I'm ready.
And I'm ready.
Good. Take a deep breath in. You can stop tapping. You might want to roll your head from side to side. If you feel that you needed to tap more, you can always come back in a replay and you can do this one again. Notice how Morgan is moving her head. Sometimes you do want to assist your head in pushing it based on what you have going on in your body. In order to get a deeper release, you may need some assistance there. Go ahead and do that. Let's do an affirmation, Morgan.
Mm.
I'm still worthy of the life that I want,
I'm still worthy of the life that I want.
even if I'm starting again.
Even if I'm starting again.
See that giggle? I love that. I can move forward with honesty.
I can move forward with honesty.
I can move forward with self-trust.
I can move forward with self-trust.
I can move forward being softer on myself than I used to be.
I can move forward being softer on myself than I used to be.
Great. Okay, take a deep breath in through your nose. Nice big clearing breath and let it out in one push. You know, these breaths that we do at the end of this really do help you to just let that go. Go ahead, Morgan. Talk to them.
Exactly. Like it just allows you to really release all of it and let it go because you're forcing it out of your body in a kind way. You know what I mean? Not like a harsh, but you're just like allowing it to move away.
Um, as a side note, it's National Poetry Month. You know, Morgan may not be a poet, but I may make her write poetry with me this month. I don't know. Stay tuned because I think I am going to be hosting a poetry night live and online. I know what. I've been working on a bunch of new work. I didn't even put that in my accomplishments, but I'm working on a bunch of new work. So I just might do a live poetry. I didn't do one last year, so I might do that this year. Before we close, and then Morgan, you have something special for everyone today, a little love note. But I do want to mention that you can always get the Getting to After magazine. Now we're just finishing up the spring edition. You can probably still get the winter edition on our website. By the way, our website is gettingtoafter.com. The Getting to After magazine helps us to defray the cost of Empowerment Essential Kits for women and their children who are been transitioning from domestic violence. And so we have a subscription model. We also have a single issue model. And so we want to make sure that you get the magazine, all right? So we'll have the links and descriptions in the description box below. Don't miss out on getting that, because not only is it a great cause for the women that we serve, but it's also a labor of love, as Morgan is a survivor and I'm survivor adjacent. And also,
Yes.
it's a great magazine for women in midlife. Like, we put in
Yeah.
all the stuff. You got great, wait till you see the recipes. They're good. They're so good this quarter. We've got amazing recipes. We've got things to just help you regulate your nervous system. And every single quarter, I try to come up with a new article for you, something to just really sit with, not just read and gloss over, but really to help you to say, okay, how can I move forward with this information? We've got a little something for every midlife woman in this particular magazine for the spring edition. And our theme is reset. So it makes sense that we're talking about this today. So make sure you get it. You can go in the description box and learn how. So Morgan, I know you have a love note for us. Can you?
This is just for you. You're allowed to feel disappointed about how something started and still feel hopeful about how it will continue. You're allowed to look at what didn't happen without turning that into a story about who you are. You're allowed to want something, even if you haven't fully shown up for it yet. Nothing about the beginning of this year disqualifies you from the rest of it. Nothing about a slow start, or a hard start, or an off start means you missed your chance. You didn't miss your year. You're still in it. And you don't have to rush or prove anything to anyone. You can start right here and take one step forward as the woman you are now in spring of 2026.
Morgan, I love a good love note.
Mm,
It's as grown women, we don't get enough of them. And you could be married, you could be single, you could have grown kids. People just forget to put that little note in your box. So when you come and get into Afro, we want to let you know we got love notes for you. If you're just having that kind of day, I need one of these. Make sure you go to our website, gettingtoafter.com. Make sure you're part of our mailing list. In fact, let me put this banner up so you have it. You can join our mailing list at bit.ly/G2A-W8. We want to make sure that every Tuesday we're right here. We're here every Tuesday at 8 a.m. Eastern. And if you love the sound of her voice, if you love that, you gotta get the magazine, because Morgan always has a breathing room for you that is amazing. Gives you really nice ways of just kind of relaxing, doing breathing exercises with her. And it's only audio, so it's nice. You can kind of carry it along with you on your phone. We give you lots of goodies, lots of things that are super exclusive, not just here in the podcast, but also in our magazine and all the things we do in our ecosystem. So stick
yeah.
around, stay tuned. You don't want to miss anything. Morgan, final words?
Who's ready to spring forward in 2026? Because I know I am.
I don't know about the spring. I'm kind of stepping. Look, even if you're not springing, you may be like gently dipping your toe in. You're still worthy. You still deserve it. And we hope you have an amazing new season.
Bye, everybody.
See you soon. Bye.